All right. Hello. Technically, I'm 3 minutes early. So it is technically incredible morning, but I was prepared to say incredible afternoon because I am a tad bit early. But hello, everyone, on this good old Sunday. How are you guys doing? All right, before I go live on TikTok, let me go over to Facebook so that I can share this video out. Um, let's see. No, wait a minute. Quick step. Wait, is that what that says? No, Print Shop Chronicles. Uh, okay, there we go. All right. Well, it is technically incredible morning. Oh goodness, come on. Oh, not BN-30, BN-20. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Okay, that's so weird. I don't see it, but anyhow. All right, there we go. Now let me go back to tickety tick tick tock talk and hit go live. All right, hello, everyone. Incredible morning, incredible afternoon. Hello, Octavius, Beverly, Princess T, Miss Cheryl. Thank you guys for being some of the first ones to jump on the live broadcast, having your notifications on. Hello. All right, make sure this is nice and tight and it doesn't fall off. All right. So I am about to do it's really a reprint. Well, they ordered another one and a different one, and they decided they wanted this print. So I'm redoing it for a client or doing this print for a client. And basically, what I'm going to do is take this adhesive vinyl and mount it to foam board. People will do these for large pictures on walls. I believe they displayed it on the other one that I made. They displayed it on an easel. But essentially, I mean, there's no limit in how you can use it. Some people will use it for memorials, depending on how big the picture is. You can use it for that as well. It can simply be a sign. So I'm just going to take this print and mount it to foam board. All right, that's what we're going to do today. So hello to everyone else that came in. If you're watching, go ahead, drop a comment. Even if it's just a sunshine, say good morning, good afternoon, depending. Well, I guess for everybody else who's not on the East Coast, it'll probably be still incredible morning. But just drop an emoji, say hi. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Although you guys cannot see me because all cameras are here. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the parent company of Silaholics Anonymous, which is my platform that I've had for the past 7 years to teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio. Honestly speaking, which is our product line for summation paper, and there's a lot more in store. Pigment ink, some accessories, and then 365 Creative Academy, where I'm going to try and focus on things that are not sublimation or not just Silhouette Studio, like some other programs and stuff. So I am streaming on my 365 Creative Academy YouTube as well. All right, so that's a little bit about me. I am well versed in a lot of different areas. So feel free to follow me, tag me in posts or groups if you have questions. Join my Facebook group and post your questions over there. So let's get into it. What all was used and needed to do this? I have a Roland BN-20. It is an entry level um, Eco Solvent Printer. There's like two different types of printer to be able to print onto vinyl. And this is actual like adhesive vinyl. This is Jet. You cannot print to vinyl. You have cast vinyl, you have calendar vinyl. You cannot print to actual vinyl with a desktop printer, even if you have Eco Solvent ink in it, because it's a different type of ink. It's water-based ink, and there's no heat to it. So it will not stay on here. It'll just kind of bubble up and look all kind of weird like. So you do need an actual Eco Solvent, or latex printer. So like your Roland, your Miyake's, your Epsons. I believe there's an HP one. There's a lot of like large format. The next one that I want is probably going to be the 64-inch. I'm on the fence between a Roland and an Epson, but I do know I want one of the larger ones, because with this one, although it is called a BN-20, you actually are not able to print a full 20 inches wide. You are not able to print a full 20 inches wide. The max is actually about, it's not even 19, it's like 18.9 is when I send that over there. It tells me it's too big and I have to kind of shrink it down. So it's about 18.9. There are these little guides that roll over the side, and that keeps it from being able to do the full 20 inches. So you cannot do 20 to 20. When it says 20, it means that you can put up to a 20-inch media on there and print to that, but you have a little under 19 inches. So whenever I'm doing things that, that's not pieced together, the max that you can do is 18. So I always just tell people, that's the max width or height, depending on how your image is set up. Their other print was more this way. So it went 18 inches, 18 and like, I think 3/4 top to bottom. And then of course I size proportionally. So whatever it is this way is what it is. This is a picture that's landscape. Whenever you're doing, like, you're looking at images, there are going to be 3 different types of like straight edge type images. You have portrait, which is what this is. You have landscape, when the image basically flows left to right. And then you're going to have one that's squared. If something is portrait, you cannot force it to be a landscape image unless you're going to distort and stretch the image out. If something is square, you cannot make it landscape or portrait unless you're going to distort it. So you have to be mindful of that when it comes to your prints and the orientation in which they're set up. All right. So some images may look larger than others because of the orientation of it. All right. It's called a Roland BN-20. It's in the description of this video. It's in the title of this video. BN-20. This is a vinyl. Now, when I ordered it from Economy Signs, I actually asked them for a different vinyl. They didn't have it. They gave me this and said, okay, it was great. I will say that this is a very thin. There is no number on the back, so I don't know like if there's more than one. Jet is, I'm pretty sure they have other like printing medias. This particular one is very thin. It's like, I'm not even sure how many millimeters it is because they didn't tell me. But I quickly realized that this is very, very thin. Media comes in different thicknesses, and they're good. Like, they have different uses. We plan to get some more of like the 6M and like thicker ones, because if I want to do decals, football decals this year, it has to be a thicker one. The thinner ones I mean, you can get them to stretch over the edges, but then like, even though it's low profile, it's a high contact sport, so it can mess up. So you want to be able to put like the really thick laminate over it, and you want the ones where you put it on there, it's going to kind of lay a little bit better because it's thicker. That is a little bit different than like how this is. Although I could use this and put the thicker laminate over it. They all have different purposes. When you're first getting in, it's okay to start off small. Get used to certain materials first and then build. But there is no such thing as one material that's going to work for everything. You'll find that some people, they're using a thicker vinyl and they are able to do what I'm about to do without having to mask it with tape. This is a really thin vinyl. If I tried to do that, I would have a bunch of ripples and things like that because I cannot really stretch this, use the wet method, or really use a lot of heat because I'm going to mount it to foam board. This is just Elmer's foam board and don't want to heat it up too much. So for mounting it to something like this, I am going to have to mask it, which will essentially make the vinyl a little bit easier to maneuver and put onto this surface because I can't use a wet method to really help me push those bubbles out. All right, so we are going to mask it. That's going to be the first part. There are some pros and cons to using the Roland. If you don't go back in and rewind it or whatever, you can end up wasting a lot. You'll have a lot of wastage. So when you are pricing, it's not just the image itself and like the size of the image. You have to think about the extra on the top, and when you're cutting it off the media, off the roll, how much is left at the bottom. So over time you get used to knowing how much, for a print this size, how much vinyl you're actually going to use. It is better when they have multiple prints because you don't waste as much. Originally this was 3 prints. So I'm just going to cut this down because I don't need all of this to put it on the foam board. This is not cut. For something like this, you would not need to use the cut feature of the Roland because we're going to cut it down with a straight blade and blades. So a straight knife and blades. We're going to cut it down with that. All right. So we don't have to worry about having the machine cut this out for us, but it can do that. All of our stickers that go on our packages, the little ones we put inside the packages. I've actually also created some stickers for some others. Those are we let the machine cut it. If I was doing prints for shirts on vinyl and stuff like that, the machine will cut it. But for this, cutting is not required. All right, let me make sure. Let's see any questions over here on TikTok. Feel free to ask your questions. I wasn't over here, so if I missed it, I'm going to scroll back. It's okay to repost it again if I miss your question. I personally only use Elmer's. Can you technically do this on Dollar Tree foam board? You sure can. I personally don't use it. I only use Elmer's, and I do plan to get some Gator board because I hear it's a little bit stiffer than the Elmer's. First things first, we're going to mask this. They make this masking in a lot of different sizes and widths and things like that. This one is a 12, I believe. Actually, no, this is a 10. I think my big clear one might be a 12. So I'm going to have to double this up. Do I use this printer frequently? Yes and no. Not really. I really don't. And I haven't had any clogs or anything like that because I didn't really get it to be in the business of really printing out stuff. People who know me kind of order prints, but we got it for our own business. So we didn't have to go out and get stickers or any type of things that we needed for our business. We didn't have to outsource it. I do a lot of yard signs. So I got it more so for me, for our business, and not really to do anyone else. So we don't use it as often as I would like. Now that we're about to get into football season, I'm hoping that I will have the time to do more, which is why I'm trying to work on my schedule so that I'm not doing as many classes and stuff. So I can focus on the print shop side of our business because I do want to get into doing team decals for fundraisers as well as helmet decals. So I'm just going to put the first side on here. We want this to be as smooth as possible so that we don't have any air bubbles. So I'm going to just push out this one little one. Even the air bubbles in between here can sometimes affect it when you put it on the board. So we're going to do that one. And then we're going to overlap a little bit and then do the other side. So I kind of roll it out so where it's like the width of it. I like to kind of fold it and put it in the middle and then let it go down like that. Oh, you know where I forgot to share this to? To the rolling group. Duh. Now with the rolling, you can do a wide variety of things. Like I said, yard signs. You can do prints for shirts. As far as using adhesive vinyl, you can use it to make wraps for cups. A lot of people on TikTok are doing that now, and they're making like wraps and stuff for cups. And then they can epoxy over it. But you can get a full color print. I did one. I haven't really washed that. My husband put it on the shelf. I need to do more wash tests with that one without doing epoxy because I don't epoxy. So you can make stickers, labels for like products and bottles and stuff like that. All right, now that that is masked off, I'm going to pull the backing off. And I'm only going to pull it back a little bit, same way you would do regular 651. I'm going to pull back a little bit, and then I'm going to put it on there and squeegee it down. If you guys are watching over on TikTok and even Facebook, go ahead, tap the screen over on TikTok. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. All right. So I want to make sure that, you know, just in case it's crooked, I'm still on the board. I don't really care about it being crooked too much because I have extra space and the image itself is not crooked. So it's going to go down straight no matter, like, I mean, the final product will be straight. So I'm not really worried about it being on the foam board crooked because I am going to cut it down. So I'm just going to put that side down at the top, which, did I just give myself a really big bubble? Okay, no, that was just in the tape. And on the paper, it doesn't really matter which side you use because the tape is protecting the print. But like on the print itself, I never use this side because you'll get scratches on your images. I only use, so they have what's called like, it's a soft, there's some that's just hard. And then this is more like a wet one so that you don't kind of get the scratches. You wet it so that you don't get the scratches. But yeah, whenever I'm on there, I try not to use this. But hopefully I don't have to use it because I should be getting everything down smooth while the tape is on it. All right, so we're going to lift this up. And if you had a bigger squeegee, it makes it so much easier because you can just take the whole thing and kind of like just push it down and then just go. But I have a small squeegee, so I'm just going to go across as I pull it down. Just checking through it and making sure there are no bubbles. There are 1,000,001 ways to do it. No one can tell you that your way is wrong. I mean, when you're ready, you may figure out a more effective way, or, go out like looking at somebody else's video or what they do, you may find and combine a couple different methods to make it more effective for you. But when you're starting, hey, you may end up making some mistakes. It's okay to have waste. You may do it just off of like, maybe how you do vinyl and stuff like that. In groups, you'll have some people giving you suggestions. Don't do it this way. Don't do it that way. There are a lot of opinions in groups. Groups can be a help and they can be a hindrance because people need to realize what works for you may not work for someone else. Maybe I do mine this way because I have an issue with my hands or how I like to see it visually and things like that. Some people are OCD. Some people just like routine. So there is no right or wrong way to do it. It's what is comfortable for you. And if you are still able to, if you're doing it for business, if you're able to still make a profit from it and meet your numbers, then hey, it works for you. So it's going, there's more on this side, so it's going to fold back, but I'm basically still just doing the same thing, okay? You can also, like on Coroplast, if you have a laminator, you can adjust the height of it, and you can put your vinyl on there and then run it through the laminator. It'll keep everything smooth and push it out. My laminator is close to a wall, so I can't do that because there will be no clearance for the rest of this. So I can't do that with my laminator. Now you can cut it down with the paper on or without. It doesn't matter. If you want it to be protected and, you know, have this on there and then they're able to take the paper off once they're like take the masking off when they're ready, you can definitely cut it with the tape on it. It does not matter how you do it. Some people like to take the tape off because they want to make sure that when their client goes to demask it, that there are no bubbles and things like that in it. So you can, like I said, remove the tape, but I already know there's no real bubbles in this. So I'm going to cut this with the tape still on it. It can be a little bit difficult at times because it is like another adhesive layer, and you can kill your blades real quick. Blades don't last long cutting through adhesive. Now, I always recommend for straight edges to use a straight ruler. Use something so that you can make sure that it's a straight line. Anne-Marie Donovan, this is, it's not really I guess you would say it's a transfer, but it's a print on printable vinyl or a jet printable vinyl, and I'm mounting it to Foamboard. This was for a party, and they were going to sit it on an easel, and I'm pretty sure now that the party's over, they're just going to frame it and put it up in their home. So it's a really large print on Foamboard. But I'm gonna cut it down, but I will demask it just so you guys can see the final print. But I'm gonna just show you that you can cut it with the masking on it. Whenever you're cutting these, even if you have a table that has a self-healing mat, it is best to cut foam board on top of another foam board. For those, I normally use cheap Dollar Tree ones. This is an Elmer's one only because it was really, really messed up and I had already started cutting on it. So I'm going to use this one. This was just one that was just messed up. But normally I'm using my cheap Dollar Tree ones for that. Just be careful if you're going to use it a lot, because once it starts to look like this, as you cut through it, you can easily cut into your surface. So you may want to still have a self-healing mat and protect your surface at all costs. But this is a fairly newer one, so I'm not really worried about going all the way through and cutting up my work surface. But I would recommend, as a newbie, if you're doing this, to have your self-healing mat underneath your foam board and then your print on top of that foam board. So a T-square is great. I actually have what? I have like 3 of these in different sizes. I have like a really heavy duty blue one. I have a yardstick on the other. I have this one, which is, you can line it up to make sure that it's like straight. Then I have like a regular yardstick. So this one really won't really help, like having this, because I don't know if this is super straight. So I can pull it over, but if this went on a little bit crooked, it's not going to line up exactly. So sometimes I won't even use this, and I'll just flip it over so that it's on the nice flat side, and I'll do it this way. But either way works. And this one's a little bit bent. I probably should have got my blue one. Let me make sure you guys can see what I am doing. Yes, you can. All right, cool beans. So I'm just going to line this up. Line it up at the bottom. Right on the line. Try and hold that down. This is where, me having some boobs and some gut, just so it might come in handy for this, because I can kind of hold this roof down with the belly. Look at my belly coming in handy. You can do it even if you don't have a thick one. Wait, why are you pushing up? Okay, maybe you are in the way. All right, so we're just gonna, how I cut, I don't try and cut all the way through. I do a score. And that's just going through the top paper layer of foam board. Then I go through it again, and that's going to get me through the foam itself. And then I go through it again to get through the paper layer on the bottom. Yeah, see, it only went through the foam. It didn't go through this foam board, but it cut kind of deep. I got kind of close there. I might want to put my other one under here. This is actually, I just changed out this blade, so this is really sharp. Now I can wait to do this, but I want to just show you guys the line. Normally I won't cut these off. I'll cut them off as I'm going around, but I want you guys to see the clean cut on it. I probably should have got my really stiff one. This one is tripping sometimes. Yeah, see, that moved a little bit. You can use an acrylic ruler. You can use any straight edge. Because I'm a righty, I mean, I could have it that way, but then the ruler would be to the like how I would have to cut it would be on the inside. I personally like to cut to where I can see the line, so it's to the outside. So I flip and rotate mine because of how I like to cut. So because I could technically do this like this and line it up here, but then I'm crossing over. I don't have enough clearance to put it like this, and then, so I don't do it that way. I like to rotate mine so that I can cut on the right side. And there it is. It's cut. So like I said, you can package this up like this to make sure that the image itself doesn't get scratched in transit and shipping and things like that. So, and just give instructions to take it off. They're going to come get this like right now. So I'm just going to just pushing down where that tape overlapped. Take off my Elmer's Foamboard sticker. I'll end up putting my HS ink sticker on the back. And it's done. Hold on. Let's see. Can I get it to... And then for you guys, let's rotate that up. So there you go. Quick, $25. Didn't have to do anything to it as far as editing or anything like that. Just take the picture, resize it, print it, mount it, all that kind of good jazz. I was on here 30 some minutes with you guys because I did a lot of talking and teaching, but it takes me less than 5 minutes to cut this. So all right, so there you have it. All right, y'all. This is gonna be a quick. I only had the one to do. I did the other ones yesterday. But if you head over to my YouTube, I have I've been waiting to do this video because he was not able to see his invitation. But I was going to make it his thing for his gift card because he requested a special gift card on our website. And it was going to be that, but he was not able to see the invitation, so I couldn't use that. But his family ended up asking for the print to be mounted. So I'm going to show you guys how I took his invitation, got rid of the invitation part, and made it like where it was just the top part where all the good stuff was. So I'm going to show you guys how I did that over on Silaholics Anonymous. So if you aren't subscribed to Silaholics Anonymous, be sure to go to YouTube, Silaholics Anonymous. Normally you type it in or just type in the professor. I'll probably come up when it comes to that. If you're watching over on TikTok, the link in my bio takes you to my link tree, and there is a direct link to my YouTube channel. So you guys go over there, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will be live showing how I took his invitation and got rid of it and made it this really, really cool print. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so very much for joining me live. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.